Sony just released the 14 1.8, and for size reference, here's the 14 to 24 Sigma, 12 to 24 Sony. The 14 1.8 from Sigma, look how massive it is, bigger than all the other ones. And the 14 1.8, the same aperture, same focal length. It's tiny, it's lightweight, it's nearly the size of the 21.8. What? We're gonna be doing a little B-roll with the Sony FX3, taking a couple photos. Let's see how it does. So this has an f1.8 aperture, and the fact that it can focus so close to something that you can get some pretty interesting photos, especially when you want to introduce some bokeh. The 14-1.8 has a minimum focusing distance of 25 centimeters and can focus closer than any of the other ultra wide lenses that I mentioned earlier. This means that you can get some interesting ultra wide angle photos with a very shallow depth of field. So here's another great example of what I'm talking about. When you shoot close up, you can really isolate your subject. It's almost like using a wide angle macro lens. Even for video, you can see a difference. I placed the camera about 5 feet away from me on my Rhino slider, and you will notice that even from this distance, you'll get a nice soft background compared to when I stopped down to f2.8, where everything appeared to be sharp. Now just imagine putting the old 14mm 1.8 Sigma on a gimbal. Looks fun, doesn't it? This beast weighs 2.6 pounds. The Sony 14-1.8 comes in at a whopping 1 pound, and even compared to the ultra wide zooms like the Sony 12-24 and the Sigma 14-24, you're still getting a noticeably smaller and lighter package. Can the 14mm 1.8 make for a good vlogging lens? Yes sir. I'm holding it out at arm's length and I'm able to show off more of my location while still blurring out that background nicely. The 20mm 1.8, which is currently my favorite lens for vlogging, just video, anything, shows less of my location. Has an advantage because I can attach ND filters to the front of it, where with the 14mm, it accepts the ND near the mount. That being said, I bet you couldn't tell that I shot that entire segment of B-roll of my car at a shutter speed of 2000 so that I could keep the aperture at f1.8. This lens really starts to become impressive when you compare its performance to its only competitor on the market, the Sigma 14-1.8 for Sony. Optically, the Sigma is pretty damn good, but the autofocus is not. It's pretty noisy and fidgety. Listen to this. With the Sony, you do get very fast and super quiet autofocusing in photo and video. You get all the features and buttons that you would expect out of a G Master, along with the build quality and the weather sealing. So you got it all. All right, let's talk image quality. I compared this lens to the Sigma 14-1.8, the Sigma 14-24 2.8, and the Sony 12-24 2.8 using, the ultimate photography camera, the Sony FX3, because that's the only camera that I had. Sharpness in the middle was negligible. They were all good in the middle. Corner sharpness, the 14-1.8 Sony and the Sigma 14-24 were the best performers from what I saw. For distortion, the 14-1.8 did perform the best out of all of them, with less bowing at the ends of the photo. And ironically, the Sony 12-24 probably performed the worst. There is no doubt in my mind that this lens was made for astro, landscape, cityscape, streetscape, indoor-outdoor architecture. This lens was made for you. Ironically, I want it for video, mainly to do my POV style educational portrait videos. But let's look at this. This is the Sony Flex. This lens is the same price as the old Sigma lens. That one's way outdated for this system. Faster, quiet autofocus, amazing image quality, low distortion. It's kind of a no-brainer here. Who else on the market is offering a lens like this? I'll wait. Right now, Canon is coming out with some good stuff. Nikon may be coming out with some stuff, but Sony right now is ahead when it comes to lenses. And that's like one of the biggest reasons to shoot Sony. I keep preaching that, but it's the truth. All right, everyone, I'm gonna take my hungry butt home. I'm hungry.